What would you do with $1 trillion? Instead of that, what if it were $1,000 billion? How about $1,000,000,000? What would you do if you were paid 999,999,999,999 over 10 years? What would you do with it? The money would be in stock, so you wouldn't have to worry about taxes unless you cash them out. You'd be able to borrow against the value of the stock and claim deductions on the interest of the loans. What would you do with that money? Would you pay off your debts? Maybe help family and friends get their head above water? Maybe you travel, buy a house without a mortgage? Would you buy a mega yacht, or maybe 10? Possibly a media company, maybe some politicians or a whole political party. I mean, with that much money, you could end all medical debt in the US. You could open affordable housing communities. You could literally do anything to make this world a better place for yourself and for everybody else. The choice would be yours. So why does Elon think he can achieve a Star Trek utopia without developing the systems needed to achieve a post-scarcity civilization? It's a place where money is obsolete and food and shelter and healthcare are provided to everyone. Automation, it was supposed to free us rather than building systems to ensure a functioning society. As automation transforms labor, Elon and his peers hoard resources and they resist regulation to protect us from them. They are destabilizing our society. He's selling this vision of an automated, abundant future. He wants us to bring optimists into our homes to do the work that we don't want to do. It's his way of elevating society. Tesla CEO Elon Musk declared Monday that his company's humanoid Optimus robots will account for approximately 80% of Tesla's future value, marking a dramatic strategic pivot away from electric vehicles towards artificial intelligence and robotics as the company's core business. It's weird that this is driving his push for a $1 trillion pay package. Tesla on Friday proposed what could become the largest executive compensation package in corporate history, asking shareholders to approve a new deal for CEO Elon Musk, potentially valued at $1 trillion.
It's a striking number, but the benchmarks that he has to meet are also equally striking.
Yeah, the actual value of the ward as it stands today is $88 billion. But over the 10-year period, if he hits those operational and financial milestones, the total value would be calculated to be around $1 trillion. There's some very heavy operational milestones. He needs to have sold 20 million Tesla vehicles, which is interesting in the context of the business model he has with robotaxi. He has to sell or build 1 million Optimus robots, and there are market cap goals as well, taking Tesla's market cap to 8.5 trillion. There's also a consideration, Matt, which I know you took interest in, right, which is that in the latter part of the deal, the final 3 years, Musk has to participate in and align with the board on a succession plan. And he can only access tranches 11 and 12 of the comp if he does so. And that's really critical because he wants more voting power. And to get that upper level of voting power beyond 25%, that comes with tranches 11 and 12. So the detail of that in the proxy is really worth reading.
And the other thing you pointed out, as soon as this proposed agreement came out, was the fact that they are asking Musk to wind down his political involvement. What is the language surrounding that?
Yep, Section 851 in the proxy. This board basically says this is what our conclusions were. They met with Musk 10 times in negotiation and consideration of this package. And point number 2 is that they want to seek reassurances, and one would assume that they have, that he will wind down his political ambitions. At the same time, there's a very heavy suggestion in the filing that Musk's retort to that was, okay, give me the voting power. And so that's why it's structured in tranches over 12 years, with each of those annualized milestones giving him an additional percentage of voting power. It's really interesting. It keeps him focused. Same with the succession plan participation from Musk. It's very heavily centered on the final 3 years of the deal.
This is how he operates. He tells you of all the riches to come, how he's always delivered. He sells fantastical dreams. Back when many considered him to be the real life Tony Stark, that may have worked. Now people see him for who he really is, Red Skull. Looking back at much of his social media, he signals like he's a groyper. He's a public figure with immense influence. It's easy to dismiss this group as a fringe movement. Then you think about what he's done for them. He personally reinstated the movement's leader to Twitter. He gave their favorite signal at the president's inauguration. Many people called it a Roman salute. Western civilization has, for the alt-right, become culturally acceptable code for white culture. So celebration of Western civilization is really a way to celebrate the cultural achievements of white men. They see ancient Greece and Rome as a starting point for this imagined idea of Western civilization, and later it evolves to include Christianity in the medieval period, which can lead a person down a rabbit hole of symbolism. Now I can't see these images without realizing their meanings. This frog may not be the Groipa frog, but it's definitely Pepe. So you can understand why so many effective people are still leaving Tesla. I came across this LinkedIn post a few days ago. Personal update. After 8 years at breakneck speed, I've made the very difficult decision to move on from Tesla. I want to thank everyone I've worked with over the years at Tesla. People, this crazy lot of bright, humble, ambitious, hardworking people are what makes Tesla special. I am thankful beyond words to the many colleagues and leaders I've worked with and learned from over the years. Beyond Autobidder, joining Tesla Energy early on and contributing to its growth has been an immense privilege. Along the journey, I got a chance to work on anything from microgrids on remote islands to VPPs across 3 continents. That's virtual power plants. It's humbling to think how much the energy industry has evolved over these years. Storage went from being an afterthought to a key enabler of the transition to sustainable energy. When I joined in 2017, Tesla Energy deployed 350 megawatt hours of storage. Last year, in 2024, the figure was 31.4 gigawatt hours. All this being said, I do need to address the elephant in the room. The main reason I'm leaving is that I think Elon has dealt huge damage to Tesla's mission and to the health of the democratic institutions in several countries. Beyond that, Elon's leadership and decision-making seem seriously compromised. Given his huge and growing inexplicably stake in Tesla, I can't convince myself anymore that this is the right place to be. This is not just about politics. It's about lying to the public, manipulating public discourse, targeting minorities, and supporting climate change deniers and political forces aligned with the oil industry. I think it's fairly indisputable that the current US administration is slowing down the energy transition. Unfortunately, speed is critical if we are to avert the worst consequences of climate change. These are the people who are critical to moving things forward. With the way technology is moving, energy will become a very expensive resource. Instead of planning for inclusive systems for a post-work society, tech oligarchs are fighting regulation.
Instead of really going down a path of personal freedom and deregulation and getting rid of these stifling regulations, unfortunately, the British government has pretty much stayed on par with the EU, if not in some ways made the stifling regulation worse.
It's a call for unchecked power. They're moving us to automation and AI. It's to enrich owners and strip jobs. This will not establish anything to provide for a society in which they have displaced its workers. The robots are projected to sell for $20,000 to $30,000 each, targeting a humanoid robotics market expected to reach $218 billion by 2030. How does any of this get us to the reality Elon says he wants for humanity? We have to break this cycle of wealth hoarding. The biggest thing that we can do right now is to engage with the people in our lives who are just too busy to care or to pay attention. They want to live their lives in peace. They hope that everything works out all on its own. We need to help them to understand that how they spend their money is very important. Share with them companies that they shouldn't be buying from. Provide them with alternatives to those companies. Let's all make sure that we're controlling our data. Refuse to share your personal data with these tech platforms. Additionally, use social media to push for change. It doesn't matter how big or small your following is. We have to flood social media with perspectives that uplift society as opposed to erasing parts of it. These are simple things that we can do in our everyday that should fit right into what we're doing every day already. I want you to share your thoughts, and I will see you in the comments section. There are more than 70,000 of you here subscribed. Thank you for coming along on this journey. If you're new here, hi, my name is Kina. I try to connect dots on things that you may not have noticed. I'd love it if you'd come along on this journey as well. YouTube thinks you want to watch this, so go ahead and click it and watch. Or if you want to watch something different, you can watch this one. And if you haven't done so already, you can subscribe here. I'll see you very soon. Okay.